our family. Growing up, it was hard growing up. 19 years, you know, 19 years old. I was 19 years old. First time, you know, going all the way is what they say. Having sex skills and being 19 years old. And I do have a marriage license, and you know, it has a name for me, and it has a name for a spouse. And it seems like different people have used the identity of this name, and I'm not sure what or why anyone would have been doing all that. But I am the type, growing up, even though it was hard, I saved myself, you know, my sexuality, my voluntary sex, you know, for being married, for my spouse, you know, with me being a virgin for my spouse, I didn't have sex in elementary school, middle school, or high school. And sometime around the age of 19 years old, you know, and having his marriage license, today the 30th day of April 2004. I was 20 years old, you know. So sometime between 19 and 20, you know, saving my virginity for my marriage, for my spouse, They say a lot of people, did not love their spouse and did not love their marriage or the idea of being married or my God or whatever God they believe in. They did not have enough love for saving themselves, their virginity, their sex, their voluntary sex for marriage the way I have, you know. I don't know why they feel that way. So, I'm not that smart. Being a mental health patient ever since I was in elementary school, they would give me these pills. They would call them crazy pills. And being called crazy all my life, it's like being brainwashed to where all I know is feeling crazy. But I'm not suicidal and I'm not a threat to myself or others. But being called crazy year after year after year after year, you know, since elementary school and, stuff like that. And, I go to River Edge and clinics and doctors and stuff sometimes, you know, for mental health treatment and stuff like that. And being the type such as myself, saving my sex, my virginity, my sexuality for marriage, for my spouse, one spouse, one spouse for me, you know. They say a lot of people don't have a spouse, the way I am, you know, a person who loved, you know, the idea of marriage, a person who loves enough to save their own virginity, their own voluntary sex for the marriage, Because a lot of people say that they married, but, you know, they said those are different kinds of marriages where a person didn't love someone enough to save their voluntary sex and their virginity for their spouse the way I have, you know. And all credit and all, of the effort of being able of saving my virginity for my marriage. And, virginity is voluntary sex, So if you was sexually abused as a child or someone did sex stuff to you and you didn't want them doing that stuff to you, if it's not voluntary sex, and it's stuff that someone did to you, they say, you can still claim your virginity if the sex stuff or the sex that they did to you was not voluntary sex, and it was something that somebody else wanted to do, and it was somebody else's idea, and it was somebody else's plan. And if you told them stop, or if you told them no, or if you was crying, or if before and after you kept telling people that you didn't want to do none of it and that they sexually abused you and took advantage of you, then you still have or still had your virginity, because you say your virginity, is about your voluntary sex. And by voluntary sex, they saying if you chose doing it because you wanted to do it or you asked to do it and you told them you wanted to do it, and they say evidence can only be proven after the fact, after it's all said and done. Did you tell them to do it? Did you volunteer doing it? Did you ask them to do it? Or was it just something that they did? Sometimes people say it's called being violated or they violated you. Then it has no effect on the status of your virginity, is the way it was explained to me. So I don't really know what all those words mean, and I'm not that smart. But they say, know yourself, the way I know myself. And knowing myself, you know, different people seem to have used the identity of my marriage and my marriage license and these names and stuff like that for bad reasons. And, since it has the date of 2004 and years and years and years, one of the people, said her name was April, and somewhere between here and there and then and there, she would tell me to go to different places, where they would be singing and dancing and making music and stuff like that. And she would tell me, uh, stuff about, since I'm the type that saved my virginity for marriage, and she doesn't know a lot of people like that. She would ask me, what do I think about those Bible stories and stuff, like a guy that they say his name was Abraham is what they say his name is according to a book. But I'm not really sure if what they did or why they did it, but they say a guy named Abraham had a wife, and his wife told him to have a baby with another girl or another person, and that he did it. So the girl that was telling me that she, is my wife, she told me that she had a sister wanting to have a baby with me. And she told me, she had a cousin wanting to have sex with me, is what she said. She, you know, felt like she thought that they was doing the same stuff that Abraham's wife told him about having sex with other people. And I told her no. I was like, no, I can't go all the way, having sex at all. Whether it's your sister, whether it's your cousin, whether they wanted to have a baby with me or not, I said no. So, there was times, I know one time specifically I was on a bus, on a Greyhound bus, and she had told me, well, try to talk to another girl and see what another girl, would, I don't know what it was. It seemed like some kind of threesome stuff that she was talking about. Because, they was like, but they did this stuff in the Bible stories, Abraham had a wife, and his wife said that he can have sex and a baby with somebody else. And, since I saved myself for marriage for my wife, she was telling me like the same thing, the girl that was with me, and she was using the name APRYL in the marriage license, and this was after 2004. It was like, I don't want to be like Abraham or whatever the story is. Loving the idea of being married and being a husband. Some people love their spouse and their marriage enough to say, even if she told me to go all the way with other people to the extent of getting them pregnant and having a baby with them, I said, no, I couldn't do it. I couldn't even make out with other people. You know how they say kissing and stuff, and it's like, I don't know the score, but they be talking about first base, second base, and going all the way type stuff, and saying that they scored. Like they was treating six like it's a game or something. It was something about going first base, second base, or going all the way, and they scored. And I was like, I can't really play those kind of six games like that, because being the type saving myself for marriage, before having a marriage license, and still being the type to all of these years later, I was never able to go all the way or score or having sex is what they call it with anyone outside of the identity of my marriage license. They say someone has a husband with the character of not being able of going all the way outside of the identity of the marriage license, and the one spouse of my marriage. And it's because of my God, and it's because of my God, our Father, our Father God, and our mother, our mother God, So, loving our Father God, in a non-sexual way, and loving our mother God in a non-sexual way, and loving my spouse, enough to where I saved my virginity before having a marriage license, and after having a marriage license, because I was never able to go all the way unless, I gotta have a marriage license. She gotta be my wife, you know. It's gotta be the right way, you know. I don't judge anyone else's sexuality, for whatever God they believe in and wherever they go to with their God when they die is their body and their choice. There was people that said they may have seen here and there and here, or then and there. And, you know, I'm not really sure what other people see or what other people hear. I go to the doctor sometimes and they be like, do you see stuff that other people don't see? Or do you hear stuff that other people don't hear? I don't know what other people see. I don't know what other people hear. That's a hard question. I don't really know how to answer it. I don't know what other people see. So I don't know if I see stuff that other people don't see. I don't know what other people hear because I don't know, if I hear stuff that other people don't hear. But I do hear voices. And a lot of times when I hear voices and I say, they say, I don't know if they are telling the truth, or I don't know if they are the same voice, or I don't know if they are telling the lie. And a lot of times when I make charts and art and pictures and, stuff that, people say that I made from the voices that I hear or that I heard, I'm not sure if it's true and I'm not sure if it's false. It's just me giving you the message of the voices I hear or what I see as a witness. And, you know, maybe it's true for you or not true for you, or maybe you favor it, or maybe you don't favor it. I'm not sure. It's only the message, I gave you. Anyway, all of these years, it seemed like somebody was trying to teach people how to make music and videos and stuff like that. And I'm not really interested in music or videos and stuff like that they was doing, because they was talking about like the wrong kind of sex and threesomes and different types of sexualities that are not my sexuality. So I would not want to be involved in those sexualities that are not the sexuality of my marriage. You know, me and my spouse, you know, her sexuality and my sexuality. So, I'm not really sure, like, the way of her sexuality, since she is a female, a girl, a lady, I don't know if it was the same person or if it was different people then when she was telling me to stuff about doing stuff with her sister, sick stuff, and doing stuff with her cousin, sick stuff, or if that's called a threesome, or when I was on the bus and she had told me to do stuff with other girls, like sick stuff or whatever, like, you know, even at time when she said going all the way because her sister wanted me having a baby with her, and I was like, no. So this is public information, for my wife, for my marriage, being married, And there's other videos, I think, under this video about, my marriage and the character of my wife and about marriage and about maturity, because some of these different people that they say were using the name April and stuff like that. It was like, it seems like I was sexually abused from different people saying that their name is April, and that some of the YouTube videos or the YouTube accounts or the social media accounts with the name April on it are not my wife, and some of them are different people. They say it's called stalking or sexual harassment if they are not my wife and are using the names and identities of my marriage license, that it is sexual abuse that they have been doing to me. And it is mental health abuse that they have been doing to me, because with me not knowing the, you know, whoever it is or whatever they planned and however they, why would it be so many different people using the name April RASHON Williams and using the identity of my marriage license? I never told them to do any of that stuff. So making sure I don't get in trouble for the stuff that other people did or that those other Aprils did, I thought about it and said, you know what? I'm not interested in going to any club or making any music or doing any songs or any singing or any of those, contracts or whatever they call it. It's the entertainment industry and stuff like that. No, I'm not interested in any of it, because being married and saving all of my seeks, what they call going all the way for marriage, you know, is most important for me and my God, the God of being married, our Father God, the husband of our mother God, the wife of our Father God, you know. So I'm not sure the exact location of my wife right now, but this has been a video update of the status of my mental health and my whereabouts and the information they say was needed, because, when people said I was here and I was there and I was in these places or in those places, you know, the girl saying her name is April, she told me to go to those places, you know. And all of the videos and all of the music that you can see on this YouTube page is the evidence of me, making music, making videos, learning the ways of being a music producer, a video producer, and stuff like that, and saying, no, I don't want to be part of those contracts and part of those industries, because different people were sexually abusive and they were all about having sex with other people's husband and other people's wife and some other kind of religion which is not the same as the God of my marriage, the religion, you know, and all of that stuff. I don't even know if it's called a religion because I'm not that smart and stuff like that, you know. So, you know, if someone is my child or my children, you know, when they say words like that, they say you would know because the character of my child or my children would believe in the same way and the same God and the same sexuality I believe in, you know. So I don't know if it's true because it's what they say, and I'm just being a witness of what they say. But I am here, you know, and I'm in this, you know, this chair and stuff like that, and they say that, you know, a lot of people follow the ways of some person that they call Abraham, the character of if his wife told him to have sex and go all the way with another person to the extent of getting them pregnant, according to the Bible story, he actually did it. But when a person, you know, said that she is my wife and she told me to go all the way to the extent of getting a person pregnant, I said no, and I did not do it because I don't believe in making anyone a single mom or single mother or a single parent household being made from the sex and the sexuality I have, you know. And I don't judge others for their sexuality or single parent households or making people into single moms or single parents or single dads or whatever they do and whatever God they believe in and wherever they go with their God, you know, when they die at the end of their life, you know, because it's their body and their choice, you know. So this has been the message, you know, for today. And there's lots of evidence of when I was at those places and when I was around those people, I was doing what I was supposed to do. I was either doing what a person who says she's my wife told me to do and loving being a husband enough to where I said, no, I can't go all the way. Just like before having a marriage license, I would save all of my sex and virginity and voluntary sex of going all the way for marriage. It's the same way after having a marriage license. Now that I do have a marriage license, I still save all of my going all the way sex for marriage. You know, when it's a person using the identity of my marriage license, you know. It's the way that I feel, you know. And they say everyone doesn't have a husband or a wife with an attitude that way, like that, because some people been in already had sex with other people, and some people been in already had sex with other people, and some people said that their husband or their wife wasn't worth saving their virginity for before or after marriage, and been going all the way with this person, that person, and got all of them families. I mean, just think about what they said Abraham did, you know. And so once again, I was like, well, he seemed like an example of what not to be. And when I was growing up, you know, they was teaching me to follow in those ways of the same Abraham that they was talking about. And I said, no, you know, whether it was holding a knife up to your own child's throat or something like that and being crazy and saying, no, I can't do what he did and stuff like that. You know, they say it's crazy, very crazy, you know. So, you know, me being myself, they said, you know, there would be evidence, you know. I think I was in a Westbury apartment and then a girl was talking about her sister wanted to have a baby with me, or that she wanted to have a threesome with her cousin. I was like, no, no. Being married is more important than making babies with other people. Being married is more important than having a threesome. Even when I was on that Greyhound bus, she was like, find another girl and stuff like that. I was like, no, I can't do this. I mean, the other girl was asking me for my phone number and stuff. I was like, hey, I can't really give you my phone number and stuff like that because being married and stuff. What if you tried going all the way or tried having sex or some stuff like that, and then it would seem like not loving your wife, your spouse, your marriage enough to say, I can't go all the way. They say that's what having sex is. I don't know if they said making out is first base or kissing and hugging or something, second base or third base. It's having sex. I don't really know the score when they say they scored. Or I think that means going all the way. But my love is not a game. My marriage is not a game. You know, my God, our Father God, and our Mother God, our Father God, our Father God is the husband of our Mother God, our Mother God, our Mother God. And our Mother God, our Mother God, our Mother God is the wife of our Father God, our Father God, our Father God. And they have the best marriage, and practicing the same way I think our Father God and our Mother God does is why I was never able of going all the way outside of the identity of my marriage. Even if a person, such as according to the Bible, the wife of Abraham, even if a person saying that she is my wife told me to do all of that stuff, I was like, no, because what if a girl became a single mother and got mad at me, you know, for the sex and going all the way and making her pregnant, and the single mom of either a dead baby if she had an abortion or if the baby died, or of a baby that, she had that, she didn't want to be a single parent of, stuff like that. So, I'm not that smart, so I don't really know what to do in those situations. And I don't even know why the girl with me told me to do any of this stuff. But I think that maybe she told me to do this stuff so that, if a person was part of the Abrahamic religion, that they would know, well, maybe something, maybe one greater than Abraham is here. One that if their own wife, a person saying she's their own wife, told him that they could go all the way and told him that he could have sex with other people to the extent of getting them pregnant. Maybe one greater than Abraham is here because maybe one person, said, no, I can't do it. I can't go all the way. If it's not my wife, if it's not my spouse, you know, even if she told me to do it, if it's my body and my choice, what kind of love does your spouse has for you? What kind of love do you have for your spouse? What kind of marriage do you have? Do you have that kind of love? Do you have that kind of spouse? Do you have that kind of marriage? A person, who would save all of their voluntary going all the way sex for you is the question, you know.